Hello and welcome to the Buy Canadian Super Hour. I'm Dave Lazar. I'm going to be your host today, and we're going to have a great time talking Canadian products, doing an interview, and playing some games. So I'm really happy you all joined us here today. I hope everyone can hear us okay. I've got a good view on the audience chat, so feel free to pop in questions. Let me know if you can't hear me or if there's any issues. This is a casual first ever Buy Canadian Super Hour. So this is the Buy Canadian Super Hour. It's all about the Buy Canadian online department store. We are the first online department store where Canadians can easily discover and purchase Canadian products. And we got a fun show for you planned today. We are going to do a game called Canadian or Not, where you will all have a chance to vote on whether a person, place, or thing is Canadian. And then we'll see who gets it, whether the collective vote of the audience gets it right. We're also going to be welcoming a special guest. Smiriti from PawzNDogz will be joining us and talking to us a little bit about her business, what it's like being a Canadian entrepreneur, and we'll look at some of her really fun snuffle mat pet products. We're also going to do an Ask Me Anything with Smiriti. So you can throw, when she reaches when we reach that part of the show, you can throw questions in the chat and I'll pose them and we'll get some good discussion going on. Throughout the show, you're going to be able to purchase items. So you can actually see in the chat area, there's a shopping tab, and you can go in there, buy any of the items we're featuring in the show. And I'll also be featuring different items on screen, and that'll look something like this. So for example, when we're highlighting the PawzNDogz avocado snuffle mat, I'll be able to show it out here on screen. Then after the Ask Me Anything, we'll do another round of the Canadian or Not. And then we're going to do a fun activity where we're actually going to do an unboxing of, thanks very much. I'm feeling the shirt as well. I actually bought this in Montreal at a vintage store about 20 years ago. So it's like double vintage by now. So we're going to do an Ask Me Anything with Smiriti. Then we're going to do the second round of the Canadian or Not game. Then we're going to open up some boxes. So I've been doing a little bit of shopping at the buycanadiangroup.ca online department store, and I've managed to resist opening the boxes. So we're going to be able to do it today. We'll discover what's in there. I know that I've got a toy from Thorpe Toys coming in, and I also got some chocolate from Roxy's Chocolate over in British Columbia. So maybe we'll even taste that on the stream, and you'll be able to buy those products as well while I'm unboxing them. Then we'll do a little Ask Me Anything with me. So if you guys have questions about the Super Hour, questions about the department store, I'm ready to answer them. This is an open community discussion. We're going to try to have some fun with it. Then we're going to do a final round of the Canadian or Not game. And then we're going to tease next week's show. So the idea here is we're going to go live every Wednesday at noon Eastern time at this buycanadian.tv address. We're also multi-streaming it out on some of our social networks. So if you're seeing this on Facebook, feel free to come over to buycanadian.tv, and then you can get the full interactive and shoppable experience. But of course, we welcome everybody who's tuning in on any social platform. And then we're going to tease our special guest for next week, which will be Melissa Maker from Maker's Clean, and we'll take a look at a couple of her products as well. Okay, well, I think we should dive right in. So let's play the first round of the Canadian or Not game. So I'm gonna, this is the first ever show, so bear with me if I am kind of figuring this out as we go. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing some voting now with the Buy Canadian Super Hour. When you're watching on buycanadian.tv, you can vote right on the screen and participate in the collective vote. So the idea is going to be we're going to put up. We're going to bring up a person, place, or thing. I'm going to bring up a picture. You guys are going to vote on whether you think it's Canadian or not. And then after a period of time, let's say 10 seconds or so, maybe even 30 seconds, we'll stop the voting, see what you guys guess, and then I'll reveal the answer. See if we can have a little bit of fun with that. So I'm gonna try to get a little fancy here and bring in a little graphic for Canadian or not. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so we got a Canadian or not graphic up. And I guess we're ready to bring on the first challenge. So the first challenge is, I would like to, I'm going to get drum roll programmed for the next one so we can really do the good stuff here. So our first challenge is a comic character. So we're going to ask you if Superman is Canadian or not. So first, let's get a little graphic up there. Here's Superman. Oop, give me a second. I gotta get the right button. Okay, there's Superman, and we're gonna activate our poll. So you should now see the Canadian or not interface on your player. And I'm gonna reveal the results to myself so I can see the voting happening. All right, the votes are pouring in. We already have 15 votes or we're up to 20 votes for non-Canadian and 6 for Canadian. So again, we're asking if the comic book character Superman is Canadian or not. So we'll give it a little while. So far, not Canadian is way ahead here at 52-10. But I'm seeing lots of votes come in, so that's a lot of fun. Glad to see everybody participating. I'm just going to look at my watch and time another 10 seconds, and then we'll close the voting and take a look at the results and decide, see who got it right. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I've stopped the voting, and it looks like it got really close at the end. But non-Canadian, the votes for non-Canadian were 57 to 52 for Canadian. So the audience has voted that Superman is not Canadian. And the answer is Superman is Canadian. It was co-created by a Toronto-born artist named John Schuster. And in fact, the Daily Planet, which is the newspaper in the Superman series, was actually modeled off the Toronto Star. So maybe a little known fact there. Okay, so round one, I guess we didn't get it right, but we're going to get a lot more chances here. We're going to do 5 each round, so there's 4 more to go. And the next challenge, I'm just going to reset the vote here so that we can have a clean tally for the next round. And the next round is we're going to bring up an actor. So Michael Cera. Is Michael Cera Canadian? Okay, I've activated the vote, and let's see what you guys think. You may know Michael Cera from Arrested Development, a lot of movies. So far, everybody is voting for Canadian. Maybe this one seems to be unanimous so far. Okay, we got 1 vote for non-Canadian. So we're looking at Michael Cera and trying to decide, is Michael Cera a Canadian person or not? So far, it's overwhelmingly the votes are coming in Canadian. So I'm going to give it about 10 more seconds, and then we'll stop the voting and reveal the answer. So here we go. I'm going to count down 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I've stopped the vote, and the total tally is 101 votes for Michael Cera being Canadian and a measly 3 votes for him being non-Canadian. So the answer is yes, Michael Cera is a Canadian. So you guys got that one right, and I guess we're batting 500 here. So born in Brampton, Ontario, Michael Cera rose to fame on Arrested Development, and I think he really hit the big time with his appearance in Superbad. Okay, I'm going to reset the votes again and prepare for the third entry in the first round of the Canadian or Not game. And in this case, we're bringing up another actor. I'm just going to remove Michael Cera here and add Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman. Is Jason Bateman Canadian or not? The votes are now active. We're accepting your votes here. Feel free to button mash if you're really sure about what Jason Bateman's nationality is, or what Jason Bateman's nationality is. So we will see what you guys think. So far, we're getting 20 votes for not Canadian and 7 votes for Canadian. We're up to 27. So this one's, people aren't as sure about this one, but I'm confident that the collective wisdom will prevail here. Okay, so far it's 30 votes not Canadian, 9 votes Canadian. I'm going to give it 10 seconds, and then we'll reveal the answer. Okay, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm cutting off the votes. I'm seeing a total of 46 votes for non-Canadian and 10 votes for Canadian. And again, we've got it right. And now we're 2 out of 3, which ain't bad. So Jason Bateman is not a Canadian. He is an American actor. He was born in Rye, New York, and he won an Emmy for Ozark. Okay, we're on to entry number 4. And this time we're going to break away a little bit from the people. I'm just going to reset the vote again. And we are going to look at a thing. Okay, so the thing is Velcro. Velcro. Was Velcro invented by a Canadian? And I am turning the votes on. Is Velcro a Canadian invention? You tell me. So far, we're seeing 12 votes for Canadian and 1 for non-Canadian. So we'll see where things are. I think people aren't as sure about Velcro because it's not as easy as movie stars to kind of figure out. But we're trying to keep the mix here at the Buy Canadian Super Hour. While you're voting, remember you can go shopping here. That's part of the fun. We're going to be featuring some products on screen, but you can be buying anytime. It's just a tab in that chat bar. And when you buy, I'm going to thank you and shout you out on screen and all that good stuff. So feel free to make purchases. Okay, so we're looking at Velcro as a Canadian invention or not. Right now, the votes are 34 Canadian, 10 not Canadian. We're going to give it 10 seconds and then cut the voting on this one. So let's do a countdown again. I like doing these countdowns. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's stop the vote. And the final tally is the collective wisdom says 49 people voted that Velcro was invented by a Canadian, and 11 people voted it is a non-Canadian invention. So let's reveal the answer. Velcro is not a Canadian invention. It was invented in 1941 by Swiss engineer Georges de Mistral after studying burrs on his dog. I guess that's kind of timely because we're going to be talking to PawzNDogz after this. So it was a dog who helped invent Velcro, but it was not Canadian. And we're now batting 500 in the first round of the Canadian or not game. Okay, so final entry in the first round. We'll be doing 2 more rounds of this throughout the Super Hour. I'm going to reset the votes and bring up the final entry. And that entry is the Zamboni. The Zamboni. Is the Zamboni a Canadian invention? I've now activated the votes. We are seeing overwhelming support for the Zamboni being a Canadian invention. So far, it's a shutout for 50-0 and going up fast. So Zamboni, the device used to drive around an ice surface and make it beautiful for the skaters. It's one of the most impressive jobs Canadians can have. I know when I go skating at the rink, all the kids are in love with the Zamboni driver and want to get into driving Zamboni. Wow, we are overwhelmingly getting votes for Canadian. I think we're up to 115 Canadian votes and only 3 for not Canadian. Let's give it another 10 seconds. We'll do another one of those baritone countdowns, and then we'll cut it off and reveal the answer. Okay, here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last chance to vote, and we're stopping the vote. Okay, the final tally here is I'm seeing 146 votes for Canadian and just 5 votes for not Canadian. So this is probably the most overwhelming response we've had as a Canadian invention. And the answer is no. Zamboni is not a Canadian invention. Zamboni is an ice surfacing machine that was patented in 1949 by the Californian inventor Frank J. Zamboni. And his name will live on in Canadians' minds forever. So, wow, I think that was a challenging first round. The audience got 2 out of the 5 questions correct. But don't worry, there's going to be another round of this after we've talked to Smiriti and done a few other activities. So you'll get another chance to redeem yourself. Okay, so I think it's now time to introduce our special guest. Let me just make sure I'm going properly off the rundown here. We're going to introduce Smiriti from PawzNDogz, and I'm going to welcome her onto the screen now, and we'll have a little chat and then open it up to your questions. Hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Buy Canadian Super Hour.
Thank you so much for inviting.
It's great. So can you hear? Everything sounds good. Everyone can hear everyone okay. I'm glad. Well, this show is all about live shopping. So I think even before we start the interview, why don't I feature the product that I think we're going to talk about today on the screen, which is the delicious avocado anti-bite snuffle mat. And I'll bring it up and people can purchase it as we talk. But why don't we rewind a bit and I'll just ask you a couple of questions. Like, first of all, tell me a little bit about PawzNDogz. What's the mission behind it? Tell me when you started it, what you had in mind, and we can chat from there.
Sure, thanks, Dave. Uh, PawzNDogz started towards the end of 2019, and uh, PawzNDogz started towards the end of 2019, just before the pandemic. And the inspiration from this business comes from our first dog, which is Princess.
Oh,
She
wonderful.
traveled with us from India to US to Canada, and she was there with us through thick and thin. And the the idea of having a business had started simmering, I think, towards the beginning of 2019, but we were not sure what we would ever do as a business.
Right.
The only thing that we knew anything apart from our educational backgrounds and professional backgrounds or the industries that we had worked with, that was dogs. So everything we knew about dogs was taught by Princess. And that gave us the inspiration to delve or take the leap of faith into a pet business.
Cool.
And slowly and steadily, we started converging towards canine enrichment. Enrichment, if I have to simplify, these are those activities that the dogs used to do in the wild millions of years ago, but are not able to do it nowadays because they have been domesticated and evolution has happened millions of years later. So we are trying to mimic those concepts that used to happen in the wild, like hunting, foraging, scavenging, and similar activities through enrichment. and we have barely scratched the surface because enrichment is a big subject, and we are only catering to olfactory canine enrichment, which is enrichment to do with the nose,
Right, the
which is
smells.
the yes. So that is the strongest organ in a dog's body, and snuffle mats cater to that. So when you put food in the loops and crevices of the snuffle mat, the dog uses his nose and intelligence to sniff out the food, and when they are doing so, they develop problem-solving capabilities and cognitive
It's
abilities.
wonderful. I mean, it seems like such a wonderful. It's almost like an invention. Was there something that inspired the idea of the snuffle mat as a way to enrich Princess and other dogs?
Yes, the thing is that dogs need some kind of activity or work to do. Otherwise, they get destructive or they start demonstrating undesirable behaviors because they are wanting to do something and we are not able to probably provide it to them. For example, let's take this. We are all getting busy, the walks are getting shorter. Everybody has to run to office in the morning. They take their dogs out and it's like, come on, do your business. Come on, do your business. I have to catch the train. I have to catch my bus, or I have to drive to office. There's going to be traffic. So we are not able to cater to those, I would say, innate needs of our pets. And that's where enrichment probably comes as a instrument to plug that gap. And Princess was a very smart dog. Like, she was extremely smart. She knew three languages. That was English, Hindi, and another local language in bits.
Oh, that's more
She
languages than I know.
so she understood everything. She was a manipulator. She was a strong-headed woman, and she needed something to exercise her brains. And that's where enrichment helped us to, I would say, keep everybody's sanity, because we used to serve her dry food in a snuffle mat and then she used to take around 20 minutes sniffing and everything. Did you know that when they sniff, they spend a lot of energy?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and dogs get tired because there is a lot of blood circulation that happens in their nose, and when they sniff, it spends a lot of energy doing that activity. That's why dogs become very tired if you take them through a walk in the woods or in a forest,
That's
or
an yeah.
as opposed to just around the block.
So, looking at the delicious avocado product that we're featuring here on screen and is available for sale right here on the Super Hour, um, tell us about why an avocado. Is that something that Princess was into avocados, or I mean, it's such a cool looking thing. I just wanted to know what inspired that design. It's so neat.
Well, avocados, just for information about for our audience, dogs can definitely eat the flesh of the avocado, but never the skin or the shell or the pit, which is toxic to them. But the flesh is safe as long as you are able to separate out the non-toxic bits. The avocado is actually something that we love. We love our avocado toasts. So I think that inspired us somewhere. Princess was the tester, and we were the designer, and that kind of met in the middle to create something that people love. Avocados is very close to Canadian hearts. I'm sure a lot of us will agree. We love our toasts.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, let's try this. It's something which is close to our hearts. People love the avocado, and
Well, I think it's beautiful.
turned out to be our bestseller.
Do you have? Oh, it's your bestseller. That's wonderful. Do
Yes,
you have it to show us? I'd love to take a look at it. Oh
yes,
wow, look
yes. This is the
how
avocado.
big it is.
It is big, and the thing is that we have tried to replicate the entire concept together. So these are two pieces which are stitched in between. It's big enough for two dogs to snuffle in them.
Wow.
Yes, and and if you can see the suction cup, it comes out too. And this particular thing is a lick pad, and you can actually smear yogurt, pumpkin puree, or
Cool.
wet food or raw food on this, and you can again put it back into the hole over here, and the dogs can sniff. And
I
there's
love how you've
suction
got Canadian maple leafs on that. So show the lick pad again because it has the maple leaf.
cup.
I love that. You could
Yes,
tell I'm into maple leafs today. Yeah, look at that. Very Canadian. Very Canadian.
yes.
Feeling the
And
pride.
the thing is, it has got 13 maple leaves to represent 13 provinces of Canada.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. That's really cool. Um,
Yes.
well, I think maybe we should open it up to some questions from the audience. You know, my question,
Sure.
we're getting a lot of activity here. So I'm seeing a question coming in here. I'm going to bring it right up on screen. It's
Yeah.
coming in from Doug. Hi, Doug. Thanks for joining the Buy Canadian Super Hour. So Doug's asking, what's the best snuffle mat for a small dog of around 12 pounds? So it sounds like Doug has a small dog. What would you recommend? Because maybe they'd get lost in that giant avocado.
Yes, we do have four challenge levels ranging from one through four. If your dog has snuffled before or done puzzles that are available in the market already, then we would suggest starting at a higher challenge level because we don't wish to make the challenges too easy. But if your dog has not snuffled before, we would recommend starting at a challenge level 2. So for a 12-pound dog, who is, I assume, a small one, I think a challenge level 2 would be apt in order for them to get engaged, I would say, in a feasible manner. It should not be overwhelming because the idea is not to frustrate the dog. The idea is to enjoy the experience and harness those innate behaviors of your pet. So, challenge level 2 mats would be a great start.
I'm seeing a note here from Jude saying that they're obviously already a fan of you. They're saying they use snuffle mats and frozen Kongs fairly often. Is that
Yes,
something you see
yes.
used in unison?
Yes. So snuffle mats are different from Kongs, but these are two different types of toys which cater to two different abilities. The frozen Kong mostly is for licking. Licking is also a type of enrichment which is called gustatory enrichment.
Gustatory enrichment. Oh, I need
Yes.
some of that. Is that like when you go to the buffet and like you're so enriched in your gut? Is that something like that? Or in your taste?
Yes, so what it does is dogs love licking, tasty stuff. So when they lick, it again reduces a lot of stress and anxiety at their end.
Mm,
It cleans their tongue. It also spends energy. It helps them to focus. It teaches them impulse control as well. And you can even use enrichment as a very strong training tool.
cool. We have another question coming in here from
Yeah.
Alexa. Uh, Alexa's asking, but because the avocado one says it's an anti-bite
Yes.
snuffle mat. Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. So if you actually see the material very closely,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
almost like leash-like material. And this is quite thick. It is not easily ripped. And it will take some amount of effort to really rip it apart. If you can see, I'm exerting force
yeah.
over here. And this, if you can hear the sound,
Yes.
I'm just running my nails across it. So this is not fleece or felt, which easily can be chewed upon by dogs. So we use this material in a maximum of our snuffle mats. It's a cotton polyester webbing material, and this withstand gentle chewing. So dogs sometimes get very enthusiastic when they snuffle because the food smell tends to get in the material. So we want something which is going to be durable, which is going to be utilizable, which is functional. So we focus on high quality materials in our snuffle mats so that it can withstand gentle chewing and nibbing. But yes, we always recommend parents to supervise enrichment because at the end of the day, these are not indestructible. If a dog is determined, they can destroy anything. So
Yeah. I know it.
yes. So if they are getting a little mischievous around your snuffle mat, take it away and reintroduce it when they are calm. Your dogs are smart. They will know that they need to respect the mat.
Cool. Okay, we're getting another question in from
Yes.
Doug. He's asking which mats are challenge level 2. We have a few other mats listed in the shopping area today. For example, we have the chunky peanuts. We
Yes.
have the
Fire
challenge
and
bone,
ice.
um,
Fire and ice is a challenge level 2 mat.
fire and ice. Oh yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh here, okay. Here's a
Yes.
challenge level 2 mat. The fire and ice. Tell us about this
Yes.
one.
Yes, so these are basically a no frill mat, again made of cotton polyester webbing. The density of webbings is lesser, so the challenge level becomes lower, as opposed to the avocado, which you can see is very densely stitched. Like it
I
will
see.
take some more time for the dogs to sniff out the treats. But in challenge level 2, the webbings are a little more spaced out, a little more open concept, so that the dog is able to figure out the treats in an easy manner. And when they ace it, they can easily graduate to the next level. But the challenge level 2 is a starting point for usually all dogs.
That's super cool. Smriti, thank you so much for joining us today on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. I'm hoping you'll agree to come back again. This is the first show, so I'm expecting the audience is going to keep growing, and it's been such a pleasure having you and talking to you that I would love to have you back if you're open to it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dave. I am honored to be part of the first podcast and happy to be supporting all our Canadian brands. Let's all give a cheer to all our Canadian brands. Yes,
Cool. Very
we
cool.
have all been there, and I think it's a very proud moment for us that we are all standing united, forgetting all our differences, and we are just united like never before. I have never seen this kind of solidarity in my last 7 years in the country. I am an immigrant, as you would have figured out, but I have never seen this level of solidarity as we have united since February, I would say.
It's been amazing, and it's been kind of an honor to kind of get in on the front lines of this and be here to support Canadian brands and Canadian consumers who are overwhelmingly looking to focus their spending on brands that are Canadian. So you can see as you're watching, we've got all the products that we're featuring in the show in the shopping area on a tab in the chat room. But over at buycanadiangroup.ca, you can go shopping for the whole array of products. And we're also always inviting other brands like PawzNDogz who'd love to be featured in our store. So check out the website for that. Smiriti, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great pleasure, and I look forward to hosting you again soon. Everybody go out there, buy a snuffle mat for your dog.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like sending your dog to university, right?
Yes, they get smarter. Yes.
Okay.
Let us know in case you have any questions. We are all here to solve all your questions. Please do not shy asking about what kind of snuffle mats would be the fit for your pets. Please let your friends and family know about our business. We are working very hard, and we are a family driven business. Family based brand. So we treat your dogs as
Oh,
our own. Yes.
looks like we got a purchase. Fantastic.
Oh, thank
Good
you
overlay
so much.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank
super
you.
cool. Yeah, we had two orders actually. One
Oh my.
from Ryan and one from Douglas. Douglas and Ryan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Those are the first ever purchases on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. I have I don't know if anyone can hear this. I did have a sound ready to go for when someone buys. So I'm going to try it. I'm not hearing it through my headset, but hopefully you guys can hear these beautiful harps, which are a
Yes.
celebration of the
Thank
purchase.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Smriti, and I look forward to our next conversation. Thanks for being on the Buy Canadian Super Hour.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, that was super fun. Um, I'm gonna, show a couple more snuffle mats. I'm glad we were able to move some product. That's what this is about. Let's move some Canadian products. Let's support some Canadian brands. Let's support Canada here on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. If you guys are watching on Facebook, why don't you come on down to buycanadian.tv? That way you can purchase right on screen. You can chat with us in the chat room, participate in our interactive games. And speaking of interactive games, I believe we are ready for round 2 of the Canadian or Not game. So let's get that set up. I'm going to unfeature the product, but you can still be shopping in the chat room while we're playing the game. So please do that. Again, thanks to Ryan and Douglas for making purchases on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. Okay, so let us go back and get the round 2 of the Canadian or Not game set up. This time I'm going to I think you guys have some experience this time, so I'm hoping for better results. We almost, I think we almost were successful last time. We were, what was it? 2 correct and 3 wrong. So let's bring the Canadian or Not graphic back up and get into round 2. So if you don't remember, or if you're just joining us, this is a game where I show a person, place, or thing, and the audience collectively votes on whether they think it is a Canadian person, place, or thing. So for round 2, we are going to be starting with a person, and that person is Peter Jennings. Peter Jennings, the longtime host of ABC News. Peter Jennings. Is he Canadian or not? Okay, wait, I got to set up the poll here so you guys can actually vote. Make sure I reset everything. And okay, the voting is on. So is Peter Jennings a Canadian? This is a hard one, I think. So let's open up the results and see how we're going. So far, we're at 27-2, saying that Peter Jennings is Canadian. We're up to 29-4. So non-Canadian is making a little comeback here, but Canadian is still holding the lead. We're asking if Peter Jennings is a Canadian. Right now, we're at 47 Canadian, 6 non-Canadian. I'm going to give it about 10 seconds, and I'll do that special countdown, and then we'll see if we got it right. Okay, so 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm going to stop the voting, and the final score is 60 votes for Canadian and 9 votes for non-Canadian. Now, let's pull up the actual answer here. Just got to grab the sheet, which tells me, yes, Peter Jennings is a Canadian. And thank you, Alexandra, for the purchase. We see that you've bought something, which is super cool. So Peter Jennings is a Canadian. He is a Toronto-born journalist and anchored ABC's World News Tonight for 22 years. I believe he also went to high school in Ottawa, which is my hometown. So Peter Jennings is a Canadian, and that is correct. I got to get a ding, ding, ding sound for us for next week. So let's move. I'm going to reset the votes, and we'll move on to the next one in the Canadian or Not game. So let's reset and pull up the next one, which I believe is on a similar theme. I'm going to remove Peter and add another U.S. news anchor, Dan Rather. Dan Rather. Is Dan Rather Canadian or not? The voting is now open. And I'm very curious to see if you guys get this right. So far, we're seeing 20 votes for non-Canadian and 0 votes for Canadian. Everyone seems pretty sure that Dan Rather is from the good old US of A. So far, now we're up to 30 votes non-Canadian, 1 vote Canadian. Could it be that Dan Rather and Peter Jennings, and if we're going with news anchors from that same era, Tom Brokaw, maybe he's Canadian too. I don't know. I know that Canadians are big on US TV. All right, let's give it 10 more seconds. Here comes your countdown. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the voting has stopped. The voting stopped and started and now stopped again. And you are correct. Dan Rather is not Canadian. He is, in fact, I believe, American, yes. Dan Rather is a Texan broadcaster who anchored CBS Evening News through the years of 1981 to 2005. Good run, Dan Rather. Too bad you're not Canadian. We're going to remove you from the Super Hour right now. Bye. Okay, time for another one. I'm going to reset the votes just to be safe here. And we'll move on to a thing. It's enough with people for a while. Let's take a look at the popular pharmaceutical aspirin. Is aspirin Canadian? Here comes the voting. Curious to see who thinks aspirin was invented by a Canadian. We are going to see what you think. So right now it's very close with 6 votes for Canadian and 5 votes for non-Canadian. I think people are thinking about this. Hey, you could cheat and look it up on the internet if you really wanted to, but that ruins a bit of the fun. But I feel like there's some uncertainty here because we're not getting the same volume of votes. We're seeing 10 votes Canadian, 5 votes non-Canadian. Is aspirin Canadian or not is the question. Okay, so we're going to give it about 10 more seconds. I'm going to do my baritone countdown for y'all. In 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. This is a first for the Buy Canadian Super Hour. We have a tie. So 11 of you thought that aspirin was invented by a Canadian or discovered. I don't know how that works with these pharmaceuticals. And 11 of you thought that there's no way aspirin was invented by a Canadian. It's an American. And the answer is aspirin is not Canadian. Acetylsalicylic acid, I don't know if I said that right, but I'm not going to try again, was first synthesized by Bayer chemist Felix Hoffmann in Germany in, if you can believe it, 1897. That's a pretty long-term, and that invention's been around for a while. So 1897, aspirin was invented in Germany, not in Canada. So that's a tie. I'll give you guys the win on that. I know that was a hard one. We're going to reset the votes and bring on another one. Okay, so this time we're going to look at some sports. What was the sport of basketball invented in Canada? Was the sport of basketball invented in Canada? So we know there are 2 major league basketball teams in Canada. One is the Toronto Raptors, who are in the NBA, and one is the upcoming WNBA franchise, the Toronto Tempo, which I'm really excited about. The WNBA is a great league, and it's growing. There used to be a fantastic franchise in Vancouver, the Vancouver Grizzlies, but they were unfortunately moved to Memphis. And I feel for you, anyone who's watching in BC. I was a Montreal Expo fan for many, many years, so I know the pain of losing a franchise to an American city. The Expos, for those of you who don't know, were moved to Washington. Okay, so where are we at? Overwhelming voting for Canadian, that basketball was invented by a Canadian. So we're going to give it 10 more seconds, and I'll do my countdown, and then we'll reveal the answer. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm stopping the voting. The final score is 54 votes for basketball being a Canadian invention and 4 votes for it being a non-Canadian invention. And the answer is yes. Basketball was invented by the Canadian Dr. James Naismith in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1891. That was a full 6 years before aspirin. I think previous to aspirin being invented, people would try to take basketballs for a headache, and it was really tough to swallow. Okay, let's do one more, and then we'll get to some unboxing. Okay, the final one in this round, I'm just going to reset the votes again. The final one in this round is another sport. This one's maybe a little bit tougher. Baseball. Is baseball a Canadian invention? Let's start the voting right now. Please let us know if you think baseball is a Canadian invention. So far, we have 6 votes non-Canadian, 0 votes Canadian. Now, they do call baseball the all-American sport, and no doubt baseball is probably some kind of derivative of cricket. I'm not 100% sure of that. But so far, the overwhelming response I'm getting from our cherished Buy Canadian Super Hour audience is that baseball is not a Canadian invention. We're going to give it about 10 more seconds and I will reveal the answer. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm closing the voting. And we are seeing a shutout. Everybody here, 17-0. I don't know if everybody voted, but everybody who voted that baseball was not a Canadian invention. Well, big surprise, baseball was invented by a Canadian. The earliest documented game resembling modern baseball was played the 4th of June, 1838 in Beachville, Ontario. So, wow, Canada's pretty good at inventing sports. I think we can be proud of that. That's amazing. So, that's our Canadian and not round 2. And I believe I forget exactly how many we got right. We had the tie, so it's a bit confusing, but I'd say you're doing really well. There's one more round, and it's going to come up soon. So, all right, let's move on to our next segment. And what I'm going to do now is do a little bit of unboxing. So, as I said, I love shopping for Canadian goods. So I went on to the buycanadiangroup.ca and bought a couple of fun products. They were delivered to me really fast. I bought from more than one Canadian merchant in a single shopping cart, which is part of what makes the Buy Canadian Group department store so special. But yeah, let's go ahead and open the product. So I think I know what's in here. This one is from Thorpe Toys. So Thorpe Toys is a really cool Ontario-based company. They've been around for a long time, and they make super high-quality stuff. So before I open it, I'm going to feature their product here on screen so you guys can see and have a chance to actually buy what it is in this box. Now, I'm not 100% sure what's in here. I have not pre-opened this, which is probably a good technique for unboxing. Let's find out. Okay, I even got a knife handy here. Hopefully I can do this efficiently. It's always fun to kind of do unboxings. I think it kind of simulates the experience of receiving the package yourself, which, as we know, is a lot of fun. Okay, I've opened it up here. And let's get this on camera. All right, it looks like there's a beautiful packaging. Let's pull this out. Whoa, cool. This is amazing. So this is a solid hardwood roadster, vintage dark hardwood roadster. It's really just gorgeous. I can feel that the quality is amazing. The way the wheels turn and stuff. Like, it actually works and be an amazing toy and gift. It's also extremely reasonably priced. And big shout out to Thorpe Toys for joining our store and providing all these cool products, like stuff like other things that come that we have in the store for Thorpe Toys, like this train whistle, for example. I remember having that when I was a kid many, many years ago, and it was so much fun. It makes you blow into it and it sounds like there's a train coming. You can have a lot of fun with that as well. Thorpe Toys also has some really cool train sets. I think that'd be an amazing gift for any kid or train lover in your world. I mean, even just this roadster, it's just super fun for me. I'm an adult, and I'd be happy to proudly display this on my desk, and probably when no one's watching, actually play with it. And man, I'm actually, I don't want to move my camera, but I'm actually rolling it across my desk right now, and it just rolls smooth. Like, if I could put the whole family in there and drive to Montreal, I would. Although unless we shrink quite a bit, that's not happening. So fantastic. If you guys want to get your own Thorpe Toys Roadster, you can buy it right here. It's sitting in the chat room, or just click right on the vintage dark hardwood overlay, and you can purchase that item. It makes for a great gift. If you are watching on Facebook or one of the other social networks, come on down to buycanadian.tv. Then you can actually buy it on screen, participate in the chat, etc. Okay, we got one more thing to unbox. I just want to, just while we're talking about Thorpe Toys, I see a note here. They actually have these in classes, which doesn't surprise me. Like, this is like classic Canadian stuff. Super cool. And Drude's, I also get kind of fond memories when I even just look through Thorpe Toys catalog. Okay, we got one more thing to unbox, and I believe this box is coming from beautiful British Columbia and is going to contain some chocolate. So I'm excited about this because I've not had lunch. I've barely had breakfast. I think I had a granola bar as I was getting set up for the show, and that's just not going to cut it. So I'm going to open up the box. We're going to see what's inside, and hopefully I can do this without injuring myself. And then, there we go. I got it. There's nothing better than getting a package in the mail. And this has been securely packed. It all came via Canada Post. Hopefully they stay at work so we can keep getting packages through our beautiful Canadian mail. All right, what do we got in here? Oh, yeah. Sweet business. Check this out. Roxy's chocolates. It's the best second chocolate. This is the Island Sea Salt Bar, and I did buy two because one is never enough. And I'm a fan of salted chocolate, so I got both the sea salt ones. Check that out. So this is it's a heavy, hardcore chocolate bar. I'm going to actually open one of these and take a bite so we can experience the magic together here. This is not like buying a Snickers or anything. This is like beautiful Canadian chocolate. Oh my God, look at that. It's like fantastic design. Like, that's a mold, and I love dark chocolate. Like, it's so good for you. Let's open this up and taste it. Yum. Yes. Alexa, I see you. I hear you. And let's take a bite of this beauty. Oh man, that is, whoa. That is beautiful. It's artisanal. You can tell this was made with love. That is so good. I'll wait and eat the rest of it after the show, so you don't have to watch me eating, but just a hint of that sea salt. It's a really rich dark chocolate. Let's see. And the ingredient list is beautiful. Like, it's just cocoa beans, cane sugar, cocoa butter, sea salt. That's it. No garbage, no additives or preservatives. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's so good. Okay, that's super fun. We do have a few other flavors. If you're not a fan of sea salt, perhaps you would want to try Roxy's Raspberry Riot if you're a raspberry fan. We also have a mint one, and there's an even bigger selection at the buycanadiangroup.ca store. So even if you don't see it in the player, you can always come back and buy some chocolate later on. And there is nothing better than getting chocolate in the mail. It's like the best thing. Certainly better than getting a bill in the mail. Okay, that's the unboxing segment. And hey, we're rolling towards the full hour here. Interesting. It's gone by super fast, but I want to finish the third. I'm going to skip the Ask Me Anything of Me because, if people have questions, just pop them in and I'll answer them. But I want to get to so we can finish the Canadian or Not game, because I want to give you guys a chance to have like a big streak rolling through to the end here. Okay, so let's bring up the Canadian or Not graphic. Here we go. And we are ready for the final round of week 1 of the Canadian or Not game. And we are going to start with a person this time. And that person is one of my favorite comedians, Betty White. Betty White. Is Betty White Canadian or not? I'm going to open up the voting now, and I see so far it is 12 for not Canadian and 4 for Canadian. And I know that most comedians, at least the good ones, are Canadian. So I wouldn't be surprised if Betty was a Canadian, because she is hilarious. And what a career she's had. So far the votes are 16-14. It's very, very close. 16 all. We've got another tie. Shocking that we're getting so many ties here. And we're up to 18 Canadian, 17 not Canadian. So it's very close. So I'm going to do a countdown, get your final votes in, and then we'll check out the answer. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay. Doug says he's wish voting. That's amazing. I think that may give away the answer here. The votes have spoken that Betty White is a Canadian at 28-17. But is that correct? Let's check my data sheet here. And I see Betty White is not Canadian. Like you, Doug, I wish that she was. We should probably make her an honorary Canadian. But unfortunately, she is not part of the Canadian. She is not a Canadian citizen. She is a beloved American TV icon, and she was born in Oak Park, Illinois, not too far from Canada. And interestingly, she owns the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest TV career. I didn't know that. Okay, let's bring up the next Canadian or not item. In this case, we're going to do a thing. I'm just resetting the votes, and we're going to do a thing. And I noticed earlier in the chat, this was actually brought up. So what we're going to ask is the zipper Canadian? Was the zipper invented in Canada? All right, here comes the voting. Was the zipper invented in Canada? I hope you like my zipper graphic. I found that last night. So far, we're up to 11, 13-0, 15-0. There is a little bit of a cheat in the chat room. I think someone mentioned the zipper earlier. And it's one of Canada, I don't want to give anything away. So right now the voting is 21 Canadian, 0 non-Canadian. Is the zipper a Canadian invention? All right, let's do a countdown. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm stopping the voting. When we have a shout out, we have shout outs as well. Thank you, Alexandra, Douglas, Ryan, all for buying products here on the Super Hour. But we have a shutout in terms of votes. 27-0. People think that the zipper is a Canadian invention, and that is correct. The modern zipper, was perfected by a gentleman named Gideon Sundebach while in St. Catharines, Ontario, in the year 1913. For those of you who don't know, St. Catharines, Ontario is quite close to the Niagara region. It's beautiful. It's also the donut capital of Canada. The most donuts are consumed per capita in St. Catharines, and I know they're quite proud of that. They make a good donut there too. Okay, let's move to the next one. I'm going to reset the votes here, and I am going to bring up a tough one here, and that is another person. That is Ernie Coombs, Mr. Dressup. Is Mr. Dressup, is Ernie Coombs Canadian? The votes are coming in. So far, we have 10 Canadian, 1 not Canadian. So you may remember Casey and Finnegan, which are the puppets that are featured there with Ernie Coombs. But what we want to know is Ernie Coombs himself Canadian? Yeah, that doll was in the nightmare of every Canadian child for many years, Trudes. You called it. But we're looking to see if Ernie Coombs, the host of Mr. Dressup, is Canadian or not. Currently, the votes stand at 14-3. I'm going to give it 10 seconds, and then we will reveal the answer. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the votes are stopped. So I am seeing 15 votes Canadian and 3 votes not Canadian. And the correct answer is, surprisingly, no. Ernie Coombs, Mr. Dressup, is not Canadian. He was born in Lewiston, Maine, which probably is an honorary kind of Canadian state there. And he did become a naturalized Canadian. So in a way, he's Canadian, but he was not born in Canada. So I'll give you guys that one. He hosted CBC's Mr. Dressup for a full 29 years. Wow. 29 years. I don't know if he maybe should have submitted that to the Guinness Book of World Records. Maybe he could have beat out Betty White. Okay, let's do the next one. I'm going to reset the votes. We got 2 more to go here. I know it's now 1 o'clock, and it's going to end up being the Buy Canadian Super Hour and 10 minutes or something. But I'm having fun. If you guys are, let's keep going and finish the last 2 here. So the next one is another thing. And then what we want is to see if the garbage bag is a Canadian invention. The garbage bag. Was the garbage bag invented in Canada? Okay, the votes are open, and we are accepting votes. So far, we are seeing 5 votes for non-Canadian and 1 vote for Canadian. So I wonder, this is a hard one. I didn't know this before I was setting this up last night. 5 votes for not Canadian, 3 votes for Canadian. Let's give it 10 more seconds and reveal the answer. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay, so it was close, but the votes came in 7 Canadian, 5 not Canadian. And the correct answer is yes. The garbage bag is a Canadian invention. Disposable polyethylene garbage bag was invented in beautiful Winnipeg, Manitoba in 1950, actually for use in hospitals. So that's a really interesting one, that Canadians invented the garbage bag. Amazing. Okay, so let's reset the votes and move to the final one. I'm just going to remove this LOL because probably he's not still laughing. This is the final entry in this week's Canadian or Not. We'll play this again. If people like it, we'll play it again next week. Maybe we'll try some other games. Remember, you can continue to shop throughout the show on buycanadiangroup.ca. And once we're done this video will also be available as a shoppable replay. So if you missed it, you can still watch it, and you can, if you liked it, you can invite a friend to come and check it out later. Okay, so the final entry in the Canadian or Not game is Hawaiian pizza. Is Hawaiian pizza Canadian? Is Hawaiian pizza Canadian? Let's start the voting now. We're looking at a pizza that has ham and pineapple, and it looks like there might be something else on there, like bacon. I'm not 100% sure what's on a Hawaiian pizza. But what we're wondering is this a Canadian invention? So far, the voting says yes. People are voting 100% Canadian, although I'm now seeing 1 vote for not Canadian. We're going to give it 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stopping the voting. The votes came in Canadian, 13-3. Let's check out the answer. The Hawaiian pizza is a Canadian invention. Pineapple top pizza was created by Greek Canadian Sam Panopoulos in Chatham, Ontario, in the fine year 1962. So I think we can all be proud of. I don't know how that went. I'd love to hear the origin story of putting pineapple on pizza, but It was done in Chatham, where a lot of innovation happens. Beautiful Chatham, Ontario. Okay, fantastic. You guys did really well with the game. I'm going to say we won as a group, as Canadians. I'm feeling the pride. I'm feeling the magic of supporting Canadian brands. And we're going to be back and do this again every Wednesday at noon. I'm sure it's going to keep getting better. We're going to have different guests. What I want to do is announce our guest for next week is going to be a very special guest. We're going to be having Melissa Maker join us. And Melissa Maker is the founder of Makers Clean and is a real great Canadian success story. She's also a big YouTube star, so maybe we'll get some of her audience coming to join us. And I have a couple of her products available here in today's selection. Let's see if I can bring one up. Yeah, here we go. The Maker's Mop. So if you want to get a head start, buy the mop now. Maybe next week when Melissa's on the show, you could ask her a couple questions for some techniques. She's an amazing personality and just a master of keeping things clean and a wonderful Canadian entrepreneur. So I'm super excited to come back next week. We only went about 6 minutes over. But this has been a really fun time. I want to thank everybody who joined us here on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. A reminder, we are the Buy Canadian group. We're the first online Canadian department store. You can go shopping right now for our first brands, and more brands are joining every single week at buycanadiangroup.ca. And it's a great way to discover Canadian products, support Canadian entrepreneurs, and really build up our Canadian economy. So thanks again for joining. I'm Dave Lazar. I'm going to leave this active for a little while in case you guys want to keep chatting in the chat room, continue shopping. And again, we'll get this published up on the site so you can watch the shoppable replay later on. But for now, I want to thank you and say we'll see you next week on the Buy Canadian Super Hour. Thanks, everybody.